What if I told you Hollywood tried to kill this movie before it was even made? Double Indemnity was called immoral, dangerous, and corrupting. Studio bosses feared it would teach Americans how to commit murder and get away with it. Some executives wanted the script burned. Others wanted the ending changed so evil would not win. But the filmmakers pushed forward anyway, and what they created rewrote cinema forever. Fact 1. Hollywood tried to ban this movie before it was made. Before cameras ever rolled, Hollywood wanted this movie dead. Studio executives believed Double Indemnity was too dangerous for the public. It showed adultery, greed, and murder without a clear moral lesson. At the time, films were supposed to teach right from wrong. This story did the opposite. The criminals felt smart. The romance felt tempting. Some executives feared audiences would copy the crime. Others warned it could damage Hollywood's reputation. For years, the project was rejected. The fact that it was ever made shocked the industry. Fact 2. The novel was considered too immoral for film. The movie was based on a novel by James M. Cain, and Hollywood hated it. The book was labeled immoral, corrupt, and inappropriate. It openly discussed sex, betrayal, and murder for money. Studios believed adapting it would invite censorship trouble. For nearly a decade, the story was untouchable. Cain's work had a reputation for exposing dark human desires, something studios tried to avoid. When Paramount finally approved the adaptation, many insiders believed the studio was taking a massive risk. Fact 3. Censors fought the script line by line. The Hays Code ruled Hollywood, and Double Indemnity broke nearly every rule. Censors objected to the affair, the murder plot, and even the dialogue. They complained that the lovers were too attractive and too clever. The idea that criminals could plan the perfect murder terrified them. Some demanded entire scenes be removed. Others wanted the ending rewritten so evil would clearly lose. Every draft triggered new arguments. The final script only survived because the filmmakers agreed to suggest violence instead of showing it directly. Fact 4. Billy Wilder refused to make a safe film. Director Billy Wilder had no interest in playing it safe. He believed audiences could handle uncomfortable stories. When studio executives asked him to soften the characters, he refused. Wilder wanted the film to feel cold, sharp, and honest. He intentionally avoided sentimental moments. Even the humor was dark. Wilder believed the story worked because it never pretended the characters were good people. His stubbornness saved the film from becoming forgettable and helped create one of the boldest movies of the era. Fact 5. The writers hated working together. The script was written by Billy Wilder and Raymond Chandler, and they did not get along. Chandler despised Hollywood and called film writing factory work. Wilder found Chandler arrogant and slow. They argued constantly over dialogue and structure. At one point, Chandler accused Wilder of not understanding crime. Wilder replied that Chandler did not understand movies. Despite the tension, their collaboration produced razor-sharp dialogue. Many critics believe the conflict actually made the script stronger and more precise. Fact 6. The voiceover was a huge gamble. Studio executives hated the idea of narration. They thought it felt lazy and confusing. But Wilder insisted the voiceover stay. The story is told as a confession, making the audience feel like silent witnesses. This technique was risky because most films at the time avoided heavy narration, yet it worked perfectly. The voiceover creates tension because you already know the crime happened. What keeps you watching is how it unfolds. This technique became a defining feature of film noir for decades. Fact 8. Fred MacMurray was the last choice. The studio did not want Fred MacMurray for the lead role. He was known for comedies and wholesome characters. Executives feared audiences would not believe him as a murderer. Billy Wilder wanted him precisely for that reason. MacMurray's friendly image made the betrayal more shocking. Ironically, MacMurray himself disliked the role. He later admitted it disturbed him deeply. He worried it would damage his career. Instead, it became his most unforgettable performance. Fact 9. Barbara Stanwyck's wig was deliberately ugly. Barbara Stanwyck wore a cheap blonde wig that audiences hated. Critics mocked it. But the wig was intentional. Billy Wilder wanted her to look artificial and slightly unsettling. He believed perfection would make her too glamorous. The wig made her character feel cold and fake, like a predator hiding behind beauty. Over time, that wig became iconic. It helped define the femme fatale image. What seemed like a mistake was actually a psychological weapon. Fact 9. The anklet scene changed film history. The famous anklet scene lasts only seconds, but it reshaped cinema. There is no kiss, no touch, just a woman at the top of the stairs and a man staring. That small detail signaled danger, desire, and doom. Censors allowed it because nothing explicit happened, yet the tension was electric. Filmmakers later copied this approach, suggestion over action. This moment proved that subtlety could be more powerful than spectacle, especially in stories about temptation and control. Fact 10. The murder scene shows almost nothing. The train murder scene was heavily censored. Wilder avoided showing violence directly. Instead, the scene uses shadows, sound, and silence. You hear a struggle, you see movement, but you never fully see the act. This made the scene far more disturbing. Audiences filled in the gaps themselves. Ironically, censorship improved the film. By forcing restraint, it made the murder feel real and horrifying. This approach influenced thrillers for decades. Fact 11. The supermarket scene felt too real. The scene where the murder is planned inside a supermarket scared censors. It showed evil hiding in a normal, bright place. No dark alley, no shadows, just everyday life. That realism made the crime feel possible for anyone. Audiences were unsettled because murder did not look dramatic. It looked ordinary. This scene broke the idea that crime belongs only to dark corners. It suggested that danger can exist anywhere, even under fluorescent lights. Fact 12. Edward G. Robinson played fate itself. Edward G. Robinson did not play a villain or hero. He played inevitability. His character never rushes, never panics, and never raises his voice. He simply waits. Each time he appears, the tension tightens. He represents the idea that you cannot outrun consequences. Robinson's calm performance made the story feel tragic instead of exciting. He became the silent force that slowly destroys the killers without ever touching them. Fact 15. The ending was almost completely different. Studio executives wanted a clear punishment scene. They suggested showing prison life or execution. Wilder rejected these ideas. He wanted the ending to feel quiet and empty. The final moments focus on exhaustion and regret, not spectacle. This decision shocked audiences. There is no dramatic explosion, just realization. The understated ending made the film linger in viewers' minds. It proved that emotional collapse can be more powerful than physical punishment. Fact 14. The film popularized film noir. Before Double Indemnity, film noir had no clear identity. After it, everything changed. Dark lighting, morally broken characters, voiceovers, and fatalistic stories became the norm. Filmmakers finally saw that audiences wanted complexity. This movie became a blueprint. Without it, noir classics might not exist. Its influence spread beyond crime films into thrillers, dramas, and even modern television. The genre was born from its shadows. Fact 15. It made female villains mainstream. Before this film, female villains were rare. Barbara Stanwyck's character was not crazy or emotional. She was calm, intelligent, and ruthless. That terrified audiences. It challenged the idea that evil had to look monstrous. This portrayal changed how women were written in cinema. The femme fatale became a symbol of power, danger, and manipulation. Many later films copied this character type, but few matched its impact. Fact 16. Audiences felt guilty watching it. Viewers did not know how to react. They felt drawn to the killers. They understood their motives. That made them uncomfortable. The movie never tells you how to feel. It lets you decide. This psychological discomfort was new for 1940s audiences. People left theaters disturbed, not entertained. That reaction proved the film's power. It forced viewers to confront their own dark thoughts. Fact 17. Critics were divided at first. Some critics praised the film immediately. Others called it dangerous and immoral. Religious groups protested. Moral watchdogs demanded stricter censorship. Yet the controversy only helped the movie. The debates kept it in the public eye. Over time, critical opinion shifted. What was once seen as corrupt became recognized as art. The film's reputation grew stronger with each decade. Fact 18. It influenced modern crime stories. Modern thrillers owe a debt to Double Indemnity. The unreliable narrator, the doomed anti-hero, and the slow unraveling of a crime all trace back to this film. Even today, writers study its structure. The idea that the ending is known, but tension still exists, became a storytelling technique used in films, shows, and novels worldwide. Fact 19. It still feels modern. Despite being made in 1944, the film feels timeless. Greed, temptation, and self-destruction never age. The dialogue feels sharp. The pacing feels tight. The themes still resonate. That is why new generations continue to discover it. It doesn't feel like an old movie. It feels like a warning. Fact 20. The film asks a dangerous question. Double Indemnity doesn't ask if crime pays. It asks why people believe it might. That question still matters today. The film shows how small choices lead to irreversible consequences. It doesn't preach, it observes. That honesty is why the film still unsettles audiences. Nearly a century later, its shadows remain close. Double Indemnity didn't just show a murder, it showed how easy it is to make one terrible choice and keep going. It warned us that greed whispers softly and love can lie. Almost 80 years later, the shadows still feel close. The question isn't why this film mattered, it's why it still does. So, tell me, what classic film noir should we expose next?